Excellencies, I now invite the chairperson of the East African Council of Ministers. Excellencies, to present to the summit. I now invite the chairperson of the Council of Ministers. Of the East African Council of Ministers to present to the summit the report of the Council of Ministers.
Your Excellencies, allow me to write on already established protocol. Your Excellencies, allow me to write on already established protocol. To express sincere appreciation for your continued leadership. Your Excellencies, allow me on behalf of the Council of Ministers to express sincere appreciation for your continued leadership, guidance, and commitment to the East Africa Community Integration Agenda. Your support remains central to the progress and achievements recorded by the community. Your Excellencies, the theme of this 25th Ordinary Summit of the East Africa Head of States is deepening integration for improved livelihoods of East Africa community citizens. It reflects a community commitment to strengthening regional integration as a pathway to enhance economic opportunities, promote sustainable development, and improve the quality of life of the people of East Africa. Your Excellencies, it is my honor to present the report of the Council for the period 30th November 2024 to 31st December 2025, highlighting key progress made in advancing the objectives of the community under the pillars of custom union, common market, monetary union, and political federation. Under the custom union pillar, the region recorded notable growth in trade, total international mechanisms, and merchandise trade increased from US dollars 33 billion in the third quarter of 2024 to US dollar 40.3 billion representing a growth of 21 in the third quarter of 2025. Export grew by representing a growth of 21.9%. Export grew by 32.3%, while imports increased by 13.3%, significantly reducing the regional trade deficit. Intra-year trade also expanded by 15%, increasing from the US dollar 4.2 billion to US dollar 4.8 billion during the same period, reflecting a continued efforts by the partner states to promote regional trade. Trade with the rest of Africa also increased, accounting for 32.2% of the community total trade during the same under review. Including the rollout of East Progress Africa was also recorded in the implementation of the single custom territory, including the rollout of East Africa custom bonds, which Your Excellencies are launching today. Once fully operational, the regional bond system is expected to release close to US dollar 2 billion in previously tied up working capital, while significantly reducing administrative costs associated with multiple national bond regimes. This will reduce the cost of doing business and enhance efficiency in regional trade. Efforts to eliminate non-tariff barriers also continued through established regional mechanisms, which resulted into elimination of 35 reports. NTBs. At the regional and continental level, the community continued to strengthen its engagement in broader In broader trade integration initiatives, the EAC assumed the chairmanship of the COMESA EAC ZADAC tripartite task force and is currently leading preparations for the tripartite summit, which will be hosted by East Africa Community Kenya later this year. Your Excellencies, under the Common Market pillar, the community continue to implement programs to strengthen enterprise development, improve the investment climate, and promote regional connectivity. The 25th EAC Macro Small Media Enterprise Trade Fair, held in Nairobi from 5th to 16th November 2025, brought together over 2,000 exhibitors from across their partner states, creating significant opportunities for cross-border trade and enterprise partnership. To improve the regional investment climate, the community adopted the East Africa Community Principles of Harmonization of Investment Laws to guide partner states in aligning their national investment frameworks. In the aviation sector, the community inaugurated the East Africa Center for Aviation Medicine in Nairobi in collaboration with the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. The center will provide standardization regional aeromedical medical oversight training. The community also unveiled the new regional tourism brand, Visit East Africa, Feel the Vibe, to the international market during the International Tourism Boas in Benin in March 2025. The initiative seeks to promote EAC as a single tourism destination and increase international tourists' arrivals. In addition, the community developed a regional framework on pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response aimed at strengthening public health resilience across the partner states. Your Excellencies, under the Monetary Union pillar, the community continued implementing the revised roadmap towards the establishment of East Africa Monetary Union. The community also adopted a framework for coordination of monetary and fiscal policies as an EAC cross-border payment system master plan to guide modernization and integration. We'll also recall the continued involvement of the youth in the integration process through the EAC secondary school essay writing competition. During this summit, Your Excellencies will recognize and award the regional winners of 2024 competition. The Council commends these students for their creativity, dedication, and the thoughtful contributions towards the advancing the ideals of EAC integration among the youth. Your Excellencies, allow me to express appreciation to my colleagues, the members of the Council, the Secretary General, the Speaker of the East Africa Legislative Assembly, the Judge President of the East Africa Court of Justice, and the staff of the community organs and institutions for their continued dedication to advancing the EAC integration agenda. Your Excellencies, the details of what the community has achieved during the period under review are contained in the report of the Council to the Summit, which has been submitted to you, Your Excellencies. I thank you so much for your attention.
I thank the Minister for her statement. Excellencies, I now invite you to make comments, if any, on the report of the Council. Any comment? No comment, so the report is adopted. I will now make my statement. Your Excellencies, heads of state of the East African Community, the delegation leaders, the Secretary General, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from the people of Uganda. Thanks for electing me to chair the East African Community Authority for the next 1 year. At this point in history, and given my 65 years of either watching closely or being right in the center of events on our much troubled continent, I feel compelled to use this occasion to bring up the issue of Okukonesa, Okufubia, miscooking the African Revolution. Okukonesa, Kufubia in our languages of the lakes, is a process where the food is not properly or consistently cooked by not applying the necessary heat for the necessary duration, and it ends up being undercooked. Kukona, kufuba. I don't know how they say it in Swahili. You'll give me the Swahili word. The food does not kusia. Kusia is our word there, meaning kuiva. Chakula haiwivi vizuri. The food does not get properly cooked. It becomes a mkone. A mkone is the food which is undercooked and you cannot sort it out. It then becomes difficult to cook properly because the insufficient heat initially applied has cooked the food in the wrong direction. The option then is to throw away that food and cook another quantity of food. I have attached a note to this speech from our scientists describing this process, which we the Wananchi simply call Okukonesa, Kufubia, but it's actually science. It is actually science. By 1900, the whole of the African continent had been colonized, except for Ethiopia, which had defeated the Italian imperialists in 1896 at Adowa. This was squarely the fault of the African chiefs and kings who had watched the slow encroachment of these European invaders right from the time when the Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople, Istanbul, in 1453, closing the overland route to Asia for Europe, pioneered by Marco Polo around the years 1271 to 1295. While the Europeans were rightly looking for an alternative route to the east by going around our massive continent, they became slave traders and colonialists when they discovered the weaknesses created by our kings. Our kings were oppressing the people, fighting one another instead of cooperating, failed to adopt new scientific knowledge, e.g. gunpowder. The Europeans invented gunpowder when our kings were here just running around with spears. Many of the kings participated in the slave trade, selling our people. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. It says in the book of the Romans, chapter 6, verse 23. And somewhere else the Bible says, whatever a man sows, that's what he reaps. It says in the book of the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7 to 8. By 1900, all those African kings were either dead or captured or had capitulated to subservience. They had squandered the time when they could have done the necessary changes to immunize us against domination. Ever since 1498, when Vasco da Gama passed by the East African coast, here in the Zanzibar, Mombasa, attacked Mombasa. Vasco da Gama actually attacked Mombasa and continued to India. It was a whole 402 years wasted. Those kings wasted 402 years. No scientific innovation, no unit among themselves, etc. They paid for their mistakes. Kabarega, our kings there in Uganda, Mwanga, Chetwayo, the one in South Africa, even here Mkwawa, I don't know whether he was captured or what. He tried to fight, etc. were either dead or captured. Unfortunately, the whole of Africa also paid for having slaves torn away from their country, freedom hijacked, resources stolen, etc. Africa, by 1900, was facing a catastrophe. Some of the people that were colonized in Latin America, North America, Australia, were exterminated, or only very few of them are still surviving, and their lands were taken over by other people. However, while the leadership of Africa has been problematic for centuries, the populations are tough, hardworking, and wealth creators for millennia. Unlike the American Indians or Aboriginal Australians, we died during the colonial aggression, but did not perish. Our cattle, goats, sheep, chicken, etc., that stay with us in our hearts had long vaccinated us against the deadly zoonotic diseases between man and animals that had exterminated the other indigenous peoples. That gave opportunity for new and more potent forces to emerge and become the vanguard of the African resistance. Who were these who resisted? There were two clusters initially. The African-American Pan-Africanists in the persons of W.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, Pademore, etc., and the African National Congress of South Africa that was founded in 1912. The Historical Mission now for the black race and the other colonized peoples was liberation against imperialists through the worldwide anti-colonial movement. In the case of Africa, the historical missions were liberation, ukombozi, uhuru, modernization, creation of prosperity, and provision of strategic security against all threats. How were we to achieve this? Uhuru na umoja, freedom and unity. Unity, freedom would enable us to control our destiny again. Umoja would enable us to address the issue of prosperity and strategic security. How was prosperity to be achieved, and how is it achieved in other countries? With modern economics, prosperity is achieved through the production and sale of the goods or services that one is capable of producing. To sell, however, you need markets. Producers need buyers to succeed. Producers need buyers to succeed. The more buyers you have, the more prosperous you become. This is where economic integration of East Africa and the whole of Africa comes in. If we do not work on this seriously and without wasting time, we betray our people. We connoisseur the African Revolution, miscooking it. The next question is the issue of strategic security against all possible threats. If we do not understand that, we again betray Africa. Strategic security can only come, in my view, from political integration. Why? Political integration through the creation of the regional federations where possible rationalizes the geography of the defended zone so that we are able to be present in the four spheres of the universe. Four spheres of the universe: land defenses, air defenses, defenses at sea, the Navy, and defenses in space. Apart from rationalizing the geography of the defended area, you need necessary muscle, size of land, natural resources, and population. As we speak today, only 4 countries have been to the moon. These are the USA, China, Russia, and India. There are a number of highly developed countries, but they have not been able to land on the moon. They are still here with us also. Is there something to size? In any case, there is no harm in having a big political unit through the political integration, where possible, to conclude, where possible. To conclude this short statement, we need to answer the following questions. These are: if we do not create a big market, how do we intend to encourage and support the wealth creators in the respective countries? If we do not create a big and reliable market for our wealth creators, how do businesses expand to produce more products, create more jobs, and pay more taxes? The answer is, if we are not able, no, the other question is, if you are not able to operate in the 4 spheres, land, air, sea, and space, how do we hope to guarantee our strategic security? Somebody is on the moon looking at you, you don't see him, how do you protect yourself? The ancient area of Africa, East Africa, given the potential to unite all our people around Swahili language, has the capacity to create prosperity and also ensure the strategic security of the black race. Historically speaking, if we use the dedication to the 4 historical missions, we discover that the patriots that fulfilled their mandate were Mwalimu Nyerere, Sheikh Aman Abed Karume, Sekou Toure, Nkrumah, and Modibo Keita. Of these efforts, it's only Tanzania that has sustained the success of economic and political integration. We must salute Tanzania. They are a shining example. Even the struggle for Uhuru liberation was not easy because we had collaborators. However, mainly because of the combination of the African resistance, ANC of South Africa, the Mau Mau in Kenya, etc., the global anti-colonial movement in Asia and Latin America, the emergence of the socialist camp following the victories of the communists in Russia and China, and the imperialists weakening themselves with their inter-imperialist wars of 1914, 1918, 1939, 1945. By 1963, a total of 36 countries had got independence in Africa. There was, however, another 20 or so where the imperialists were determined not to surrender. These were Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Angola, Namibia, etc. Some of the countries were on the road to independence, e.g. Kenya and Zambia, but not the others. Little Portugal was saying that Mozambique, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, etc. were not colonies, but overseas provinces of Portugal. In quotes, imagine, Little Portugal was saying that Mozambique is an overseas province of Portugal. And that the black Africans can become black Portuguese assimilados by forgetting their culture. While at the OAU conference of 1963 in Addis Ababa, Africa had declared that the whole Africa must be free either by peace or by war, it was only a few countries led by Tanzania under the leadership of Mwalimu that really stood by the freedom fighters. Others were Zambia, Botswana, Guinea-Conakry, Algeria, Ghana under Nkrumah, and Egypt under Nasser. On account of the resistance movements, support of these Pan-Africanists, the socialist countries, and some democratic groups in the West, by 1994, the whole of Africa was free with the majority rule in South Africa. So by 1994, we had spent a whole century trying to liberate Africa from these invaders. And the last country to be free was South Africa in 1994. I'm glad to say that although the revolutionaries in Uganda arrived on the scene late, from 1989, we were able to give serious support to the ANC of South Africa and the PSC in the form of military training, logistics, educational opportunities, etc. Africa had therefore, as the century of shame for African continent, where the whole of it had been colonized and a half a millennium of plunder by the European and Arabs with the slave trade, come to an end, become free. Africa had become free. Uhuru, freedom had come. The question was, where is Umoja? Because you remember, it was Uhuru na Umoja. Uhuru came. Now the question was, where is Umoja? Umoja for economic prosperity through economic integration in order to create big markets to support the efforts of the African wealth creators, and Umoja for political integration, where possible, to create strategic security for the black race on land, in the air, at sea, and in space. Yes, some of the efforts for economic integration have moved. I worked with Mzee Moi, Mzee Mwinyi, Mzee Mkapa to revive the East African community. You remember this community had broken up. So when we came into government, immediately we started working with Mzee Moi, Mzee Mwinyi, later on Mkapa. We brought it back, 1999. I salute Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo for joining the East African community. Let us fully implement the charter of the East African community and the roadmap, as His Excellency Mr. President Ruto was reporting. How about COMESA and the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area? Some actors seem to treat this integration as optional. In my view, I have always heard that it is mandatory to unite or risk perpetual marginalization. How about political integration? In the case of East Africa, we the Pan-Africanists have never relented. Ever since the student days in the 1960s, we have been struggling for that integration, supporting our elder Pan-Africanists, Mwalimu Nyerere, Abeid Karume, Kenneth Kaunda, Arap Moi, etc. With Mzee Kibaki, Mzee Mkapa, Prince Kagame, Prince Nkurunziza, we called for the fast tracking of the federation in the year 2014. However, on account of the awkwardness of the African Revolution, seeing what is happening in much of Africa, instead of Uhuru na Umoja, in many countries, in many areas, we have got Uhuru na Uhasama. Is it Uhasama?
Uhasama is correct.
Discord.
Discord.
Mnaona Kiswahili changu? Msinichezee. So instead of Uhuru na Umoja, we have Uhuru na Uhasama, freedom and discord. In Uganda, we have a Uganda proverb. It goes like this. Ekitata muhima tekimumala konte. In English, it means that if a Muhima, one of the tribes in Uganda, does not die, even if he loses cattle on account of his dedication to cattle keeping, he will do everything possible to get new cattle. Africa is still there. Although we have lost opportunities, but we can catch up. What is the consequence of Uhuru na Uhasama? Uhuru na Uhasama instead of Uhuru na Umoja. Economic stagnation and the suffering of the populations. What is generating the migration of the African youth that are dying in the Mediterranean Sea going to Europe? It is the narrowness of the money economy of Africa that does not create necessary jobs. One of the consequences of not fully integrating our markets, investors get frustrated when they cannot export within even the East African community. The GDP of Africa today, the GDP of the whole of Africa is US dollars 3.6 trillion. The whole of Africa, Africa yote, the GDP is 3.6 trillion. That of the USA is US dollars 31.82 trillion. The GDP of USA is bigger than the one of Africa, more than 10 times. China is now 20.6 trillion. India is US dollars 4.18 trillion. Even little South Korea has got a GDP of US dollars 1.86 trillion. One may ask, why does the little South Korea have the that GDP size? One factor is that South Korea, because of the Cold War politics, benefited a lot from the USA market. However, in our Luganda language we say, Omugo oguli kumulirano chegobango. The stick in the neighbor's house will not help you to scare away the leopard. If the leopard comes to attack you, you are not going to say, I get a stick from the neighbor to chase the leopard. You must have your own stick in your own house. You need your own stick in your own house. You have seen Mr. Trump recently threatening tariffs on South Korea and others. The question we need to ask is, does size of the domestic market matter in terms of attracting investments, domestic or foreign? Because we have got economists, professors, what have you, they are very many. But I think the size of the market matters. The size of your market matters. Why? China opened up its economy in 1978, when many of the African countries were already under the pastoralism of the World Bank and the IMF, were already investing, implementing structural adjustment, all those things, etc. The Chinese are still communists. Chinese are communists. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Yet the economy has attracted US dollars 2.7 trillion from outside since 1978. While the whole of Africa has attracted US dollars 1.8 trillion. The GDP of China in 1978 was US dollars 149 billion. 149 billion, that's what it was in 1978, the GDP of China. It is now US dollars 20.6 trillion. India opened up in the year 1991. Since that time, it has attracted US dollars 1.2 trillion in foreign investments. By that time, the GDP of India was US dollars 270 billion, small. India's GDP is now US dollars 4.18 trillion. The three richest countries in the world today are all big countries, big land mass and big population. While we look for foreign markets, the reliable core market is the internal one. It is guaranteed. The richest countries are the USA, China, and India. I appeal to the youth of East Africa, to go back to Uhuru na Umoja. Recently, I met some Gen Z from Kenya. They came to Uganda. that they are experts in organizing riots. And they had come to Uganda to give technical support. to the Ugandan Gen Z, how to riot. But some among the Ugandans said, but you people, why don't we go and see this old man? So these children came. The ones from Uganda and from Kenya, they came. So we are experts in riots. I said, okay, I can join you. But what are we rioting for? They said corruption, what? I said, okay, but even if there was no corruption, if you don't address the issues of structure, if you have got a small market, even if there is no corruption, how will the economy expand? So I said, why don't you go and talk about East African issues? So I told His Excellency, I am here with your Gen Z. So I gave them some transport and they went back. I appeal to the youth of East Africa to go back to Uhuru na Umoja. This Uhuru na Uhasama is really a disaster. I had the Last Supper with Mwalimu in a house near here in Arusha. Mr. Butiku and Mr. Marwa Adam were present. When I arrived for the dinner, I saw a Tanzanian girl who spoke Chihaya, whom I knew, standing on the veranda waiting for me. She was one of Mwalimu's aides. I greeted her in Chihaya, which is close to the dialects of Uganda. Wabonaki, I said. She answered, Tinka boine kantushana na boneiwe. Abahaya mwachurra. Mwachurra echo. The greeting is in the form of a question. The question is, what have you seen? The answer is, I have seen nothing special except you now. Then I asked, Nokorono Mugursi, you work with Mzee these days? Her answer was yes. Mwalimu overheard us. He asked, Mnasema lugha gani? Mwalimu asked us, he didn't know. What language are you speaking? I explained to Mwalimu that all the dialects up to Mwanza are close to Runyankore, my dialect. I was surprised Mwalimu did not know that. Even the Kisukuma, Chinyamwezi, and other dialects in Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, DRC are close to the dialects of Uganda. Swahili contains a lot of words from the dialects of Bara kule kwetu, huko ndani, inland Africa. What God has put together, man shall not put asunder. It says in the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 9. During that Last Supper with Mwalimu, here in Arusha, I was discussing with him the very issues I'm telling you now. God bless you. Excellencies, permit me, I will handle agenda items 3 and 4 together. Excellencies, you record that during our closed session, the heads of state appointed the Secretary General for the East African Community and the judges of the Court of Justice. We now proceed to witness the swearing-in of the appointed persons.
Excellencies, I will now proceed to introduce the new Secretary General to the plenary that has been appointed by the summit, and I will request the Registrar of the Court to prepare for the swearing-in of the Secretary General and the judges appointed. Her Worship, the Acting Registrar, Christine, be on standby to administer the oath of allegiance and oath of secrecy for the Secretary General and the judicial oath for the judges in that order. Excellencies, I will introduce the person that you have appointed to this plenary. He was born on 12th August 1968 in Kinondoni, Dar es Salaam. He is an East African of Tanzanian origin and is a holder of a master's degree in economic policy management from Makerere University and a bachelor degree of arts in economics from the University of Dar es Salaam. He defines himself as highly motivated, conscientious, and committed civil servant with 28 years experience in civil service. The incoming Secretary General is well vested with a wealth of knowledge and experience on EAC integration, capacity building, with results of 19 years engagement on it. He has been steering the Tanzanian delegation in the Coordination Committee, meeting of senior officials of the EAC Council of Ministers, meeting of the EAC Sectoral Council at senior officials levels, leading Tanzanian experts in EAC technical meetings ranging from political, peace, security, finance, and administration initiatives, among others. During his 19 years of engagement in EAC activities, he has actively participated in negotiations of various legal and policy instruments as team member or leader of Tanzania delegation. At national level, he coordinates public and private sectors institutions participating in EAC meetings, as well as implementation of Summit Council sectoral decisions and directives in Tanzania. He boasts of his financial and human resource management skills and management team leader, director, and accounting officer, where at the ministry, clean audit certificates have been received for consecutive last 4 years. With your permission, Excellencies, allow me to ask Ambassador Stephen Patrick Bundi to stand up. Your Excellencies, please allow me to stand on the already established protocols. Article 67 of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community provides that the Secretary General shall be appointed by the Summit upon nomination by the relevant heads of states.
the United Republic of Tanzania has accordingly recommended a candidate for appointment by the summit. My name is Christine Mutimura, the Acting Registrar of the East African Court of Justice, and my role today is to administer the oaths of the Secretary General and the judges of the East African Court of Justice as provided for in Section 3 of the East African Community Oaths Act of 2019. Your Excellencies, the Secretary General and the judges shall take 2 oaths, the oath of allegiance and the oath of secrecy. The oaths are pledged by them to bear true allegiance to the East African community and to truly serve the community without fear or favor as Secretary General and as judges of the East African community. Allow me now, Your Excellencies, to proceed with the administering of the oaths of the incoming Secretary General from the United Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Stephen Patrick Mbundi.
I, Stephen Patrick Mbundi, do solemnly swear that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal any matter to any person which shall be brought under my consideration or shall come to my knowledge during the discharge of my duties, except as may be required for the discharge of my official duties or as may be specifically permitted by the Summit of Heads of State and the Council of Ministers. So help me God. I, Stephen Patrick Mbundi, having been appointed Secretary General of the East African Community, do solemnly swear that to exercise loyalty, discretion, and concise in the performance of the function entrusted to me in accordance with the provision of the treaty for the establishment of East African Community, and regulate my conduct with the interests of the community, and not to seek or accept instruction in regard to the performance of my duties from any partner states or other authority external to the community. So help me God.
Wewe Secretary General, halo. Njoo upate baraka. Usomea Makele.
Your Excellencies, Article 24.1 of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community provides that the summit shall appoint judges persons recommended by their partner states who have proven integrity, impartiality, and independence, and who fulfill the conditions required in their own countries for holding of such high judicial office, or who are jurists of recognized competence in their respective partner states. Based on the vacancies on the bench of the East African Court of Justice, Your Excellencies, the Federal Republic of Somalia, the Republic of Kenya, and the Republic of South Sudan each recommended a judge for appointment by the summit. Your Excellencies, please allow me to now introduce to you the first judge who shall be taking his oath today. And I request him to please come forward as I speak more on him. Advocate Abdiwahid Wasame Abdullahi from the Federal Republic of Somalia. Your Excellencies, Advocate Abdiwahid is a Somali national who, until recently, was serving as a case reviewer in the prosecution division of the Columbus City Attorney's Office. He's a holder of various qualifications, including a Master of Laws in Comparative and Constitutional Law from Ohio State University. He's a seasoned lawyer, having served in different capacities, including as a state prosecutor for the Banadiri Regional Court in Somalia and as a legal counselor at the Prosecution Resource Unit of the Columbus City Attorney's Office. Your Excellencies, Advocate Abdiwahid has had a long and flourishing career. To mention all the positions that he has held would not be in the interest of your time. May I now invite Advocate Abdiwahid Wasame Abdullahi to step forward and take his oath as judge of the First Instance Division of the East African Court of Justice.
This is the first one.
Yeah, so you raise your crown.
I think I have to put it like that.
Okay, so you need to raise.
Yeah. Not this one. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I, Abdiwahid Abdullahi Warsame, do solemnly swear that I will well and truly serve the East African community in the office of Judge of the East African Court of Justice, that I will do justice in accordance with the Treaty for the establishment of the East African Community as by law established in accordance with the laws and customs of the East African Community without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So help me God. I, Abdiwahid Abdullahi Warsame, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and pay true allegiance to the East African community, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the treaty for the establishment of the East African community as by law established. So help me God. I have to shake the president, okay? I have to start.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, allow me to now introduce to you the second judge who shall be taking her oath today, the Honorable Anne Atieno Amadi, CBS, from the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Amadi was until recently serving as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. She's a holder of various qualifications, including a Master of Criminal Justice from Boston University. She's a seasoned lawyer, having served in different capacity, but most notable is her role as the Chief Registrar of the Kenya Judiciary and as a Deputy Executive Director and Head of Litigation with the Federation of Women Lawyers, Kenya. Your Excellencies, Honorable Amadi has had a long and flourishing career, but in the interest of time, I will not mention all the positions that she has held. May I now invite Honorable Anne Atieno Amadi, CBS, to come forward and take her oaths as judge of the First Instance Division of the East African Court of Justice.
I, Anne Atieno Amadi, do solemnly swear that I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the East African community, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the treaty for the establishment of the East African community as by law established. So help me God. I, Anne Atieno Amadi, do solemnly swear that I will well and truly serve the East African community in the office of Judge of the East African Court of Justice, and that I will do justice in accordance with the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community as by law established, and in accordance with the laws and customs of the East African community, without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. So help me God.
Congratulations, madam. My very best wishes.
Your Excellencies, allow me now to introduce to you the third judge who shall be taking his oath today, the Honorable Justice Diejo Stephen Abraham, Yar, from the Republic of South Sudan. Honorable Justice Diejo was until recently serving as a High Court judge of the Judiciary of South Sudan. He's a holder of various qualifications, including a Bachelor of Laws degree from the Al Nilain University in Khartoum. He's a seasoned judge, having served in different capacities, including as a first-grade judge of the County Court of the Judiciary of South Sudan, and as a third-grade district judge in the Judiciary of the Sudan. Your Excellencies, Justice Diejo has had a long and flourishing career. To mention all the positions that he has held would not be in the interest of your time. May I now invite the Honorable Justice Diejo Stephen Abraham Yar to step forward and take his oath as judge of the First Instance Division of the East African Court of Justice.
I, D.J. Stephen Abraham, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to East African community, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the treaty for the establishment of the East African community as by law established. So help me God. I, D.J. Stephen Abraham, do solemnly swear that I will well and truly serve the East African community in the office of judge at the East African Court of Justice, and that I will do justice in accordance with the treaty for the establishment of the East African community as by law established, and in accordance with the laws and customs of East African community, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So help me God.
Your Excellencies, my role today has concluded, and I wish to thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, thank you very much, Your Worship, the Registrar of the East African Court of Justice. Congratulations to all, to the newly appointed Secretary General and the judges who have been appointed. I'd like to request the band to continue to give us a musical interlude while their Excellencies sign the various instruments of the community.
We have finished.
I've been overruled. The next item, ladies and gentlemen, is the launch of the ESC, the 7th ESC Development Strategy and the ESC Customs Bond.
I now invite Your Excellencies to launch the 7th East African Community Development Strategy and the East African Customs Bond. How would we launch it?
Declare. You can declare.
We launch it. So now, Secretary General, do something else.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. We are just bringing up the dummy development strategy for your signatures. I request you assist with bringing it up. It is representative of our 7th development strategy, whose theme is focused on deepening integration. You can assist us with the video for the launch of the strategy. It's done, eh? Okay. Your Excellencies.
Don't waste time, we have done it, we have finished. I now invite their excellencies to make statements.
There's a customs bond passed.
Where is it?
It's a customs bond. We need to launch the customs bond.
Where is it? Outside.
It's on screen.
Oh, okay. Just one moment. Where is the screen? What do we do?
Thank you, Chair. We request for your indulgence for two things. For the launch of the East Africa Customs Bond, which is a big milestone as was outlined earlier. That one does require video, so kindly please let us pull it up. And then the students who are being awarded by their excellencies for the essays, you'll be making your way here as the video is played. Do we have the video ready?
The EAC Customs Bond is a regionally
Can you increase the volume?
guarantee system that secures duties and taxes on goods in transit across the East African community. It allows traders to use a single customs bond / guarantee that is valid across all partner states, replacing the need for multiple national bonds when goods move through more than one country. Why was the EAC bond developed? 1. To support the operationalization of the Single Customs Territory, SCT, by supporting the unique processes in ACT. 2. To reduce the cost, complexity, and delays associated with cross-border trade. 3. To promote regional ownership of trade facilitation tools. And 4. To complement existing frameworks, such as the COMESA RCTG, offering a more integrated, flexible, and EAC-specific solution.
We agree with the bond.
How does it work? Step 1.
We agree with the bond.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the efficiency. We now ask the students who are being awarded to approach here. Your Excellencies, as part of EAC integration, we do not leave behind the youth. So every year there is an annual essay competition, and this year we have 6 students to be awarded.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, and I will read. Your Excellencies, in this session we present to you the winners of the 2024 EAC essay writing competition. The essay competition has been undertaken by the EAC annually since 2004, when it was introduced by the summit. It is part of the wider EAC outreach program aimed at enhancing the awareness of school-going population on the developments in the EAC integration. Secondary school students from the EAC partner states are presented with a topic on contemporary issues in the community, on which they develop essays between 1,000 to 1,500 words in either English, French, or Kiswahili languages. Your Excellencies, the essays have gone through national and regional adjudication. Okay. I will go to the names. The 6th, in position 6, is Shemezimana Nadine. That's number 6. That is from Republic of Burundi. At position 5 is Katerega Ronald from Republic of Uganda. At position 4 is Blandina Kamili Kabalemesa from United Republic of Tanzania. At position 3 is Harriet Alon George from the Republic of South Sudan. At position 2 is Kingsley White Sifuna from the Republic of Kenya. And the winner is Atete Kagorora from the Republic of Rwanda.
Your Excellency, we're finished. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Chairperson. We have teachers who came with these students. If you're in the audience, please stand up for recognition and a round of applause to you. The teachers, please stand up. Kindly wave to us. Congratulations. The success of your students is your success as well. Thank you very much. Congratulations, SA Award winners of 2024. You can now take your seats. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies,
Your Excellencies, the last item will be to read the communique of today's meeting.
Your Excellencies, I wish to move that the communique be, oh, you want to read it? I will now invite the Secretary General to present the draft communique to the Excellencies.
Their Excellencies have guided me that I read the communique before they do their statements. The East African Community Heads of State, Their Excellencies William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Right Honorable Justine Nsengiyumva, Prime Minister of the Republic of Rwanda, representing His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Honorable Mande Semaya Kumba, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, representing His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, Honorable Floribert Anzuluni, Minister of Regional Integration, representing His Excellency Félix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, held the 5th Ordinary Summit of the East African Community Heads of State on the 7th of March 2026 in Arusha in the United Republic of Tanzania. The heads of state met in a warm and cordial atmosphere. The summit received a progress report on the implementation of the previous decisions relating to the EAC-led Nairobi process on the restoration of peace in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and A, took note of the progress made in restoring peace and stability in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. B, commended His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of the East African Community, for steering the implementation of the decisions of the summit relating to the peace and security situation in Eastern DRC and coordination of the process. C, called on all parties to the conflict to cease hostilities and observe immediate ceasefire while recommitting to peaceful resolution of their differences. D, urge the African Union to provide requisite financial and logistical resources to the AU-led mediation process on Eastern DRC to ensure expeditious and sustainable engagement of the process till conclusion. E, took note of the efforts of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, under the International Conference of the Great Lakes Region, and agreed that all initiatives and recommendations arising under the ICGLR should be channeled through the African Union. Number 3, received the report of the Council of Ministers for the period 30th November 2024 to 31st December 2025 and commended the Council for the progress made in implementing the programs and projects of the community, and A, vacated their decision of the 23rd meeting of the summit adopting a sustainable financing of the East African community on 65% equal contribution and 35% assessed contributions financing formula, and adopted a new financing formula for the community of 50% equal partner contribution and 50% assessed contributions, and directed the partner states to implement the formula with effect from 1st July 2026 without fail and without further consultations by the Council of Ministers. B, decided to waive as a one-off 50% of all arrears due to all partner states due to the prevailing circumstances in all partner states, on the condition that the 50% is paid within 2 years from 7th of March 2026. C, directed the Council to finalize the schedule of sanctions, taking into account the new financing formula adopted by the summit and report to the 26th meeting of the summit. D, directed the partner states and the Council to resolve all outstanding reported non-tariff barriers to trade within the community by 30th June 2026, directed the Council to conclude the joint action plan on strengthening trade relations arising from the meeting of EAC organs and institutions, partner states, private sector of partner states and their governing bodies or associations, and report to the 26th meeting of the summit. F, directed Roman 1, the Republic of South Sudan to conclude domestication of the treaty to facilitate effective implementation of programs and activities of the community. Roman 2, the Federal Republic of Somalia and the Democratic Republic of the Congo to fast-track domestication of the treaty to facilitate effective implementation of programs and activities of the community. Roman 3, the Council to conclude negotiations on the roadmap for integration of the Democratic Republic of the Congo into the community before 30th June 2026. Roman 4, the Council to fast-track implementation of the roadmaps for integration of Republic of South Sudan, Federal Republic of Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo into the community. And Roman 5, the Republic of Rwanda, the Republic of South Sudan, the United Republic of Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the Federal Republic of Somalia to conclude national consultations on the EAC Political Confederation Constitution by 30th June 2026. Number 4, decided that the quorum for meetings of all organs and institutions of the community shall be 2/3 of all partner states, and directed partner states, Council, and Secretariat to implement this decision without further consultations. Number 5, decided that nominations for positions of Speaker, Judge President, Secretary General, and Deputy Secretaries General shall be in accordance to Article 8 of the treaty and shall be based on the following: Roman 1, ratification of all community legal instruments. Roman 2, domestication of the treaty. And Roman 3, full implementation of the roadmap for the integration of a partner state. Number 6, decided that the members of the East Africa Legislative Assembly serving in the community should be paid by their respective national assemblies with effect from the December 2027 after the end of the tenure of the current assembly. Number 7, received the report from the Secretary General on the management and operations of the organs and institutions of the community and decided to increase the remuneration of the staff in the organs and institutions of the community by 2% with effect from January 2027. Number 8, the summit launched the 7th EAC Development Strategy 2026-27 to 2030-2031 and directed the Council and Secretariat to mobilize resources for its implementation. Number 9, the summit launched the EAC Customs Bond and directed the Council and partner states to roll out the EAC Customs Bond to facilitate trade. Number 10, the summit assented to A, the East African Community Appropriation Bill 2024, and B, the East African Community Statistics Bureau Bill. Number 11, the summit thanked Honorable Veronica Mweninduva for her dedicated service rendered to the community and wished her well in her future endeavors. Number 12, the summit appointed Ambassador Stephen Patrick Bundi from the United Republic of Tanzania as the new Secretary General of the community for a 5-year non-renewable term with effect from 25th April 2026. The summit, number 13, renewed the appointment of Honorable Andrea Arik Malueth as Deputy Secretary General Infrastructure, Productive, Social and Political Sectors with effect from 17th June 2026, and Ms. Annette Mtawe Semwemba as Deputy Secretary General, Customs, Trade and Monetary Affairs with effect from 1st August 2026. The summit appointed Justice Diejo Stephen Abraham, Mr. Abdiwahid Warsame Abdullahi, and Honorable Anne Atieno Amadi as judges to the First Instance Division of the East African Court of Justice with effect from 7th March 2026. Number 15, the heads of state congratulated and awarded certificates to the winners of the 2024 EAC Secondary Schools Essay Competition and commended them for their keen interest in the EAC integration process. Number 16, the summit commended His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya, for his exemplary leadership during his tenure as the chairperson of the summit. Number 17, the summit decided that the Republic of Uganda will be the chairperson of the community, while the Republic of Rwanda will be the rapporteur. And finally, number 18, the heads of state thanked Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan and extended their gratitude for the warm and cordial hospitality accorded to them and their delegations during their stay in the United Republic of Tanzania. Their Excellencies appended their signatures to this communique dated 7th March 2026, Arusha, United Republic of Tanzania. I submit.
I thank the Secretary General for reading the communique, but before we adopt it, I want to invite their excellencies to make statements, starting with our host. Okay. So I now I now move that the communique be adopted. Your Excellencies, we have come to the close of the 25th meeting of the summit. I wish to thank our host, Her Excellency Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan, for the hospitality extended to our delegations. And I wish all delegations safe travels back home. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. May we have the anthems, please? May we have the anthems, please? very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, for gracing us with your presence at this 25th summit. Thank you, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, all protocol observed. We've come to the end of the event. We wish you journey masses back home. Thank you.
Delegates, please. Lunch is served. Lunch is served for those who can manage to have lunch, where we had
the arrival of our dear guests.